Okay, going to do a quick tutorial on how to fix that bad mirror that we saw earlier on the side of the road. So the mirror's on here now, but don't worry about that. Just imagine that this is still black and looks like crap. Alright, so normally the mirror is still attached to a rotator, which is this little assembly right here. Clips into this assembly. So what you're wanting to do is tilt this out. When it's still attached, you're going to want to tilt it out this way. Get down inside there, and you're going to find two wires. These little wires right here, these two pieces of metal, and you're going to pop them loose. You just basically stick a finger in there, flip that one out, flip that one out. You can see what it does. It releases all these catch points and just kind of push these out to where they're kind of flipped up and out of the way. And at that point, it should be very easy to just pull the mirror off of this round part right here, because those clips grab on the outer rim of this round part. And there's 4 ears at the 4 corners that slip into these little slots right here and here. So once you've got that mirror popped loose, next thing you're going to do is get these out of the way, back where they go. Takes a little bit of work, but up and over, back into their lock points, like that. Make sure that the catches are all popping back into place like they should. All these little pieces of metal here and here, they all catch on that rim. Next thing you have to do is disconnect these defroster, if your car has those, without ripping this off. Because if you just grab this wire and pull, you're going to probably rip this right out of the defrostment element and ruin them. So what I figured to do, I just have a tool that I use for dislodging doors. And what I will do is actually hook it right on the corner there. It's actually upside down, hang on. I will basically hook it right on the corner here. It's going to push down on the clip that's on the mirror, and then it'll lift up on the clip that's on the wire. Like that. So that one's off. This one was already off, so that's for example. So now we got the mirror. Okay, a bit more detail. Got another mirror here. This one actually came off of the passenger side of my 05, and it is actually definitely delaminating quite a bit, actually. You can see right there. It's very much delaminating. Focus in on that. There you go. So you can see the inner layer that is the defroster. That's what those coils are back in there. And then this is the adhesive layer, this stuff right here. So this one is actually delaminating all the way back where the coils are. So this will actually be an easier one to deal with. So now all I'm doing is just kind of gradually separating it without tearing the coil up. Probably take a little piece of cardboard or something and just kind of stick it in there. I don't want to use anything metal or sharp edged, but you can use a piece of cardboard. Just kind of get it in there, and yeah, there we go. Now you can kind of see it. Let's see, better. There we go. So yeah, just working my way across. Sometimes it's the other side that comes loose, but this time this one is going to be a little nicer to deal with, because then I can peel that off of the glass. And just a steady amount of gradual pressure, and voila, there she goes. So this is your actual defroster coil. And this is the adhesive that has started coming off of the glass, but not completely. So what I'm going to do is actually just peel off everything that peels off. And it looks like somebody else has already done a, yeah, that's what this is. Someone else has already done a silicone job. So they didn't do a very detailed one though. But you can see all their silicone blobs quite well. So now the trick will be getting all the silicone off without taking the mirror backing off. Although I'm very tempted to just do another layer of silicone over top of this. We'll see. So I'm going to work on this for a little while, trying to take off the silicone without removing the mirror backing. And I might just end up gluing this thing on without doing that. But we'll see. I'll pause it for a few minutes while I work on this. Okay, so the solution that I've got for now is going to be to take the excess silicone off with a straight razor, such as this, without cutting into the glass, the back surface. I'm just grazing off all but a very thin layer. Just leaving that little bit right there. So I do not want to cut the actual glass coating, because then you'll see that on the other side. So once this is done, I can put silicone across this whole thing, sandwich it on there just like we did on the other one. So work my way around. Putting a fresh blade on here makes it very easy to cut through all the silicone. A dull blade will not do this job at all, so you have to have a good fresh razor blade. Otherwise, you'll just be fighting the whole time. And so far, no scratches. That's just silicone right there. Yeah, it's just silicone. And as always, when you're using a razor blade, make sure you point the blade away from you, unless you like hospitals and stitches, both of which I've had to deal with in the last few years from being stupid. So be smarter than I am. Point the blade away from yourself. Having a little trouble with the blade, it's getting dulled. Okay, just the middle part here. Okay, everything is now thin, so I can clean that up, put some silicone on it, and sandwich it. So it'll go right back on, right over top of this. And that'll be the finished product. A little dirty right now, but we'll clean it up with a little bit of this right quick. That way I'm not transferring grease from the front to the rear. Might as well clean the front off. All right, front's nice and clean. Make sure that she's still, what did I do? There it is. So yeah, when it's all said and done, that ain't bad. That'll work. Now, got to clean up these two surfaces. And to do that, I will be using some paper towels. Pause it for a minute. Okay, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%, so it leaves a pretty clean finish. And I'll start with the mirror backing and just give it a good clean, taking all the impurities off of it, any oils, anything like that that might cause it not to want to bond. Pretty clean. Get that off. That's it. Next, clean the back of this mirror. Alcohol does not break down silicone, but it does clean it. And alcohol dries clear, so you have no issues. And then I will buff out a little bit of this stuff in the middle here. And at this point, everything's tacky enough, ready to bond. I did pull the silicone out that I had the other day. I wanted to go ahead and use it since I've got to do the mirror repair anyways. It's already started to bond up. Doesn't take long for it to dry out. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is basically put a bunch of dots of silicone. Considerably more than what was on there before. Squeeze some of this to the back, make it a little easier to do. So that when I'm done squashing it out, it should make a very solid seal. That's a pretty good bit of silicone. I think that'll seal out real nicely. Put one more big blob in the middle here. So as you can see, that's a lot. That should easily fill up the entire crevice behind it. So now we'll settle it right down on there. Like that. And just start working our way out from the middle. Kind of squish it, you can hear it kind of squishing out. And there are some spots where it's definitely oozing, so I will have to get rid of that. But yeah, basically just work your way around. Make sure you get good, solid squish. Fill in all those air gaps. And I could use 3M adhesive or something, but honestly, for this job, I'm just going to use silicone. I've done this for cars that I've had for the last 30, 40 years of driving that I've done, and it works very well. takes care of that. Now this spot right here is curling a bit much, so I'm going to put a clamp on that so that it glues up and seals. This area here that's oozing, I'm going to go ahead and squish it out of there. Push in a little bit right there, drag it off with my finger, same thing, drag it off with my finger, same thing, drag it off. Set the mirror where you want it, because it does slide around. So just kind of center it up, giving a little bit of a gap all the way around. And then we'll wipe it clean with another rag. Okay, that's that. Like I said, there's a spot. This one's pretty good, but right here is definitely sticking out, so I'm going to put a clamp on that just to kind of squeeze it till it sets. So we'll find a clamp. Yeah, like I said, little clamp. Cute little thing, but it'll do the job. That should keep everything nice and snug. Looks good to me, so I'll let that sit. This one I'm not putting on today, unlike the other one. This one I'm actually going to leave not installed because of all the silicone that's on here. So I'll park it, and that's how you fix one of these mirrors. If you want to save a buck, you could order the 3M double-sided tape for mirror adhesion. That's another way to do it, but I figured I'd just do it the way that I've always done it and save a buck. So here you go. Right there was where some actually oozed out, so I put a little pressure on it, wiped that off, and let it dry. So at this point, your glass is done, and you probably should just let it sit for a while. But me being me, I'm going to put it back together. So let's go out there and do that now. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a owner of a couple of pre-facelift Saab NG9-3s, so I've got the issue with the battery drain. So I've had to solve it by hooking up chargers to both cars. Just little trickle chargers to keep them topped off when I'm not driving them. So, all right, so now you've got everything ready to go to put it back on. You got that rim right there around the inside. You're just going to mate this to that surface, but first, put both of your your defroster wires back on. You got the black one, which goes on the lowest point, and I only know that because that's how I took it off. So, putting the black one back on. And then the red one goes on the upper. And we will press those down a bit stronger. I'm going to put the phone down so I can really seat them properly. Okay. As you can see, they're both seated properly. Now what I did is put my finger on the glass on the back side of it as I push down on it. Same thing down there. Don't push on the glass without your finger there because you'll crack your glass. All right, so everything's lined up. So now all I'm going to do is basically center it up on that circle and then just pop it in. And that's all, folks. She's back in business. So now I just have to hit my power to get this back to where it's supposed to be. We'll polish it off a little bit. Problem solved. Actually, really cheaply, too. So, like I said, don't fear projects. All you gotta do is figure out how they're done, and the information is either on the internet or in a book. You just have to find it, or you can figure it out with common sense most of the time. So, have a great day, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. Fear no more projects. Bye-bye.